and as staging area data lake, and then finally processing. The process results again we are storing into Synapse. Another way, even though you are ADF developer, for every activity, for every pipeline, you used to interact with the different other data storage services. So first, how to play with this Azure SQL. Before that, how to create that. We will see. Database. Before creating the database, what you require is server. Okay. And then how to log in into this and play with that. So these operations will see. I'm coming to the portal, sir. What is our portal link? Portal.azure.com. Okay. Did you remember yesterday we created one resource group? Your first step is resource group. Under one resource group, any number of resources that you can add. So please check what resource groups that we have. Just I'm clicking on resource groups. Here we have first resource group, practice RG. I think practice RG was yesterday's. I just opened this. Already we have two resources. The first one is Big Data Lake 108. This is Data Lake Gen 2 feature. This is one just normalized blob storage. Now I'm going to create Azure SQL service. Just click on create. There actually here you can find out in the list SQL databases. Here you can go. But if you don't see anything, just type Azure SQL. Get the second one. Go with this Azure SQL. Okay. Here I have only one option, Azure SQL. Just click on create. It will show you multiple options for the deployment. These are the deployment options. What type of instance that you want? One is SQL database. Look at the last one, SQL virtual machine and SQL managed instances. So mostly in the cloud, to get purely cloud services, whether you have to go with the SQL databases and SQL managed instances. So this SQL virtual machines, that is only for already you are using SQL server in on-premise. Now you want to migrate that same SQL server license. You want to migrate into the cloud. Then you will have to take one virtual machine. On top of virtual machine, you have to deploy your old SQL server. So for such kind of operations, this virtual machine. Instead of doing that, complete cloud services that you need without purchasing the license of SQL server or something. At the time, you have two options. One is SQL databases and SQL managed instances. So here in the SQL managed instances, a lot of benefits for the auto scaling kind of features and with the high level replications. So that's why generally organizations go for development area, they use SQL database, a single instance. And in the productions, they go with SQL managed instances. But as a developer, suppose you are a SQL developer, there is no difference between working in the working style of working with SQL database or SQL managed instances or SQL virtual machines. Suppose you are writing a query, the query is same for all the three. But only for production deployment point of view, infrastructure point of view, there will be a difference. Okay. So later in the technical parts, we will be discussing about that. I'm just coming to the SQL for now. I'm going to select SQL databases. Just to click on create. Asking you the basic details, same as data lake. What is our subscription here? Free trial. And our resource group, practice RG. right? And you need to give some information about what is a database. One database name I am giving, let's say demo DB. Some rough name I am giving, and demo DB. This is database name. So this is available for me. This name is available for me. That's why all these things are selected with a green symbol. But database should run on top of a server. So first you need to have one database server. On top of database server, your database will be run. So I'm going to already I have some existed servers. Please come. Already I have some existed servers, but I don't want to select. I want to create a new server first. So below that option only, you please check here. Create new option is here. Just click on create. It is asking you server name and location. Location means the region. In which region you want to deploy your server? That is. So in which region we have created our resource groups in last class? East US. So here there is no compulsion. Resource group is in East US. That's why every resource should be in the same region. There is no compulsion. Your wish. Resource group is in East US. You can keep the resource in West US or India region. Your wish. Okay. So I will show you that. So server name I am giving demo server. Name not accepted because with that name already some server is created. I am giving some unique name so that adding a number. Now it is accepted. So our server name is demo server 108. Just a minute. I will type here. Again, we will forget what names we have given. The database name is demo DB. Server name demo server 108. Okay. So server is accepted. Server name. The region it is asking you. I am selecting a different region. East US 2. Okay. With a different region I am selecting. And still we need to give some authentication information. Your user ID and password to log in into your server. So you can create this user is acting as a root admin. Okay. So once you are a root admin, you can create any number of users and you can grant the permissions to the users. Different other security policies you can set. Now you will be the admin, entire root admin. Okay. So here in the server admin login, it is asking you some name I am giving. The name is SQL admin. Any name you can give. SQL admin. That is our username. And I am giving my own password. And confirming the password. Okay, all the work is ready. Now click on OK. Now server is just a server related configuration ready. Database name demo DB, server name demo server 108. The region is East US 2. Okay, remaining options that is about replications and about scaling. For now, I am not touching that. Just simply, I am going to create it. Click on review plus create. So validation successful, then create. Generally, it takes less than 5 minutes time. Okay, 2 to 5 minutes time. Now, please check the time. Now, time is 8:29. Please observe how much time is going to take. Meanwhile, I will write what the credentials we have given. The username, SQL admin. Because at the time of login, this is important. And we have given some password. You give your own password. Okay. So still it is in progress. Already 1 minute passed. Observe here, sir, one thing. Demo server 108. The request is accepted, but not yet created. Okay. Request. Pardon, sir. For data lake, no password, but you can set policies. You can set security policies. Suppose here I am account admin. I can access it, but you cannot access my data lake until unless I gave you access to it. Okay. Please check the things here. Look at the last demo server 108 that is created. Now just check demo DB. Request accepted just now. So that means what is the flow? First server creation, on top of server database creation. Okay. Yeah. It took around 2.5 minutes. All of you please check it. The confirmation message your deployment is complete. Directly by clicking on go to resource, you can enter into that. Beginning onwards, please check from your resource groups. Going to home and click on my practice RG resource group. Previously, I have only 2. Now, how many things you guess? Previously, I have two storage accounts. Now, how many? Not 3, 4. Because one server. Server is also a resource. One for server and one for second one for database. Please check it. Last one is server. Last second one. That is data. You can see the category. All the left side, all these are resources. What is the type of that resource? The first 2 storage accounts. Next one SQL database. Next one SQL server. Okay. Just I'm going into the database. All of you please check. There's some login issues you will be getting. In the left side, you have different options. Even you can use Power BI for visualizations also here. Okay, no need to have separate license for it. Okay, if any visualization developer is there, directly they can build their visualizations from this Power BI. So here, look at this option, query editor. Directly from this, you can connect with the database and you can query the data. You can create objects, you can query the data, all the operations you can do. But while connecting with that, it is asking you user ID password. Already at the time of creating the server, I gave some user ID password. What is that? SQL admin is user, some password I have. Same thing. Okay. Now, click OK. It has given me some error. Okay. What is that error? Please check it. So the letters are very small. That's why I will copy this into Notepad. All of you please check and try to understand the error message. I got an error here at the time of login. So if I read this error, I got a clue, sir, here something. The client IP address. So we are going to connect with the database server. Your query editor that is acting as a client. Of course, remote client. From this browser, you are connected. So it has generated one IP address 193.83.39.131 something. This is not allowed to access the server. That means there might be some firewall. There might be some firewall. I want to give access to that. Okay. So actually, the general process is you need to go to firewall settings. Generally, in companies, what will happen is you have to put a request because you are a developer. Okay. You are a developer, you will put the request to the admin. Okay, they will add this IP address into that firewall rule settings. But now for here, simply you can go. There is a link. But in real-time work, you don't find this link, sir, remember. But here I am getting this link means I am the account admin. I am owner of this account. I am root admin. Everything is me. That's why I could able to do that. But in our organizations, it will not be like this because everything is tightened with security. Okay. So simply if you click on this link, automatically this IP address will be added into your firewall. We will check it now, whether it will be added or not. Just I am clicking this, please observe. Rightmost corner, all of you, please check it. What is the confirmation message here? Successfully updated server firewall. Now this time, once it is added, once it is updated, just click on OK. Now you will enter it. Now you can query here. So suppose if that link, they have provided you the link, you have just clicked on that link. Suppose if they did not give you the link, generally in organizations you don't find that link in our real-time work. At that time, what you have to do, what admins generally do is, admin style I am saying, not developer style. Just click on overview. The overview
Sir, if you connect, hello,
yes, sir.
can you if you connect SSMS also?
Pardon?
SSMS, SQL Server
Yes, sir.
Management.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. From that also you can connect. That is offline client. This is online client. That is the only difference. Okay, here the new guys. He asked for, can we connect from SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. From that SQL Server Management Studio also you can connect with that one. Suppose already you have that SQL instance in your local desktop. From that system you can connect with any. Now not only with this one, you can connect with the Synapse. You can connect with Azure SQL. Right? Yeah. SQL related anything you can connect. If it is SSMS, Management Studio of SQL Server. Okay. Come to this. Like I just click on overview for this. Here, observe here in the tabs, there are some tabs. Look at the fourth tab. Set server firewall. Right. Okay. What is the IP address we have taken previously? What is the IP address? Same thing or not? Please check it. Please check. 183.83.39.131. Just remember last two, 39.131. Just check it here. 39.131. So actually manually we need to add it. Manually we need to add it. But they provided a link. That's why in the beginning just we clicked on that link. Automatically IP address is added. Okay. So I'm not doing, for now, I'm not doing any changes in the firewall settings, but in coming classes, we will be doing changes into this. But for now, one small change I do. Look at the second option here. It's not second, look at the third line. There is something. Yellow, Azure services and resource to access the server. By default, that is disabled. Sir, in Azure, you have a lot of services, sir. Azure SQL, part of Azure only. Azure Data Factory, part of Azure. Azure Synapse, part of Azure. Everything is a part of Azure, but every service is isolated. Understand? We are all team members, but isolated, no connection with other people, like that. So now if you want to allow this Azure SQL to be accessed by other Azure SQL services, sorry, not other Azure SQL, other Azure services. You have Azure SQL, but that to be used by accessed by other Azure services, just allow. Here, just select this option. Allow Azure services and resources to access this server. Just I am saying yes. Otherwise, you will get at the time of accessing the data, you will get a lot of connection issues. Got it. So simply say yes, you did some modification, so that click on save. Remaining everything is okay. Now come back and directly try to connect with your database. Once again, I'm coming to, okay, this is your database. This time I'm trying to log in into the query editor. Okay, user ID and password. I just click on okay. This time it did not ask me. It did not put me any restriction because already our IP address is added. But once if I log out my portal, again tomorrow in our class, if I try to log in into the same, again it will ask me. Because dynamically it is keep changing that IP address, client IP addresses. When our IP address got changed, you have to add that. Add into firewall principles. Okay, sir. I just logged into here. Now, what are the different things available? Tables, views, stored procedures. So, online team meeting is going to be terminated. If terminated, please connect with same link. Okay, here tables we have, views we have, stored procedures we have. These stored procedures, especially tables, we will be using into our ADFs. Okay, for now, I am not going to touch stored procedures. Just check what tables are available to you. No tables. I want to create some table. Just I am creating one sample table. In the query box, you can give your DDL statement. Just one sample statement I am giving. Create table. The table name sample one. Only 2 columns I am giving: ID, name, char afterward. Char or varchar data type is your wish. So this statement I am going to copy and keeping into this query box and click on run button. So if I click on this run button, how many statements are here? All the statements will be executed one by one. If you want to execute only a particular statement, just only select that line and then click on run button. Observe here confirmation message: query succeeded, affected rows 0. Please go. Affected number of rows 0. Please check the list, but in the list you are not seeing anything. If you don't see anything, just click on refresh button. Okay, now check it. Previously it was empty. Now there is a tab. Got it? So online team, please disconnect the meeting and rejoin into the same meeting link. Please rejoin into same meeting.